Have the car back in the garage. We are back from our first track day at Rockingham with NASA Southeast. Didn't go exactly as planned. First day, Saturday, had a bunch of rain in there. Then with the first time driving the car on slicks at a new track and a new car in the rain. So held off, got to run one session on Saturday, very last session of the day. Car was doing fine at low RPMs. Once it got towards the top, it started breaking up. Right around 5,000 RPMs, it started breaking up. So I pulled off early, took the car back, figured it might be electrical with plugs. So went to go pull the plugs, and as I was pulling off the spark plug wires, noticed that 3 of them were completely burned through. I got a picture of some of those I'll put in here. Pulled the plugs, they were really fouled. Tried to clean them off, had some spare plugs, put new plugs in there. Figured it might be part because the wires were burned, it wasn't getting good electric. So put new plugs or plug wires on there, put new plugs in, thought everything was good. Waited the next day, went out, same thing, car kept breaking up. It started dying on me while I was out there, and I'd go from second to first, it would die on me. If you watch some of the other videos, you can see that. Checked the plugs again, they were all fouled up. It looked like the car was running really rich. Try to clean everything up, go back out there again, same thing, car's still running rich. I'm not 100% on carburetors, so I waited till today. When I got back, I'm going to take this air filter off, this little intake here, take it off, get to the carburetor, see what I can learn about it, go through it, see if I can't do a little tuning on it. I know it's idling at about 1,200 to 1,500 RPMs. Seems a little high to me. I don't know a whole lot about this motor. Like I said, I bought it secondhand, only had it for a little while. So I'm going to go through, check the plugs again, take that off, check the carburetor, see what I can do with it, see if I can do any tuning with it, learn on the internet, and go from there. All right, so I'm going to take this air filter cover off, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so we got the 4 bolts out of here. Go ahead and take that off, set it to the side real quick. And we got the nut off the very top, so we'll go ahead and take the cover off the, oh, forgot these. That holds the back side of that on, so let me grab a flathead real quick. There we are. Should take these off. One side. Now the other. And this pops right off. I have to find somewhere to start putting all these parts. I'm gonna put them on the floor and step on them. Not so much worried about scratching. There's a race car. Shelby. Take that off. There we go. All right, off it comes, and there's your air filter. Make sure I step on that. Air filter comes right off. With the car running rich, I want to make sure that the air filter is not clogged and it's actually getting a good bit of air. I'll go through here and check this as well, make sure we don't have any debris or anything stuck in there that might be causing this thing to not get as much air. That might help cause it run, or that might cause it to run rich as well. So take that off. It's hard to do one-handed. There we go. Set that aside too. I'm going to check that later. Oh, there's the top of our carburetor. I'm going to figure out how to get this off right here. Looks like it's going to be these bolts, and we'll go from there. Be right back with you. Well, it's obviously been a minute. When I got that air filter cover off, started looking at the carburetor, I said, oh man, not familiar with any of this, so I took some time, did some looking. This is a Holley 4150. Obviously been worked on by Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop. I had no clue what these were. I saw the two, here's a regulator for the fuel line. Saw 2 fuel lines going into it, and I said, So I did some look and talked to some old timers who do a little bit more carburetor stuff than I am, and I'm probably gonna butcher all this, so if anybody knows anything about it, please don't hesitate to let me know. These allow for you to adjust the jets on the carburetor. You can see L and R is from Willie's right there. That is for lean and rich. These are adjustable jets where you can adjust outside without having to take these off. to get into it and change the jets out. These are your, I believe, what they call the idle mixture to help adjust the idle. Right here, your mixture there. Your idle screws on the far side, your idle speed screws on the far side. This to adjust or to check the level in here. I worked on all that already. Pulled these out, loosen this, adjust towards just the bottom of the threads. We'll go from there, see where I'm at. I did make the mistake of, I was like, I don't know if I need to do this with it running or not. So it has a switch for the fuel pump. So I took these out, took this off, turned on the fuel pump, and whew, as you can imagine, fuel shot everywhere. So I've got that cleaned up, learned that lesson. So I did that without the fuel pump. Got my vacuum hooked up so I can check the vacuum on it. It's into the intake. So whenever I'm gonna push this thing out here, I've had it plugged up, heating up for a minute. And once I'm gonna push it out here, crank it up, let it get warm up to its normal idle. And then I'll kind of start fiddling with it, seeing if I can't check the vacuum and find the best mixture, because I still think it's running rich at idle, because before I even get onto it on the track, it's already got fouled plugs. So we're going to check all that again. I have a brand new set of plugs. Once I kind of feel like I get it right, I'm going to take these plugs out, put new ones in. That way I'll be able to check it. All right, so I'm going to unplug this thing, push it out, crank it up, and be back with you. Alright, so I don't know if you can hear me over the car, but got it cranked up. It's sitting here idling. It's been running for a little while, getting warm, coming up temperature. Even the other day when I was on the track for a few minutes, it came off at 160 degrees. So I noticed right off the bat, I turned down the idle mixture a little bit, getting a lot less smoke over here. I'm gonna keep messing with it, but got my vacuum gauge hooked up. And as the car settles into its idle, go over here, down my screws here on the side of the carburetor, 1/8 of a turn at a time, until I see a drop in vacuum, and then I'll come back and do it again. So, give me this a little bit, I'm gonna work on this, and I'll come back. Well, sorry, forgot to get the camera back out while the car was running. Got it idling much better. Got the idle turned down. It was sitting there idling about 1200. Kept adjusting the mixture and finally got it to where it was staying around 13. I don't know, is that pounds? I'm not sure what you measure vacuum in. Inches of vacuum? Yeah. Got it around 13. It was hovering there. Started making another quarter turn and it went to die. So turned it back, finalized all of them, revved it up a little bit. It's running just fine. So we're gonna sit here. It's got the foul plugs in it. I'm gonna pull, once it cools down, I'm gonna pull the plugs and wires back off, check those. I got a brand new set of Autolite Racing plugs. Put those back in there, crank it up, let it idle a little bit, get up temperature, see if those are fouled. If those aren't fouled, then we will take it for a drive, get on it a little bit, see how it runs, see if it runs good. And if it does, we'll come back, pull the plugs, see if those are fouled. If they're not, we'll be good. If they are, we'll start messing with the little jet adjustments here and go from there. But right now this thing's way too hot. I'm gonna let it cool off a little bit, probably come back another day. So that's gonna be all for today. I'm gonna put it back in the garage once it cools down. Thank you.